What's up, gang? It's your boy Sensei Glove, the bald head black anime nerd, back with my review of One Piece manga chapter 1072, The Weight of Memories. This chapter is a great chapter, a textbook chapter in misdirection that Oda is super known for. It's a lot to get into. First of all, Happy New Year to all my followers, all my subscribers. Love y'all. Happy New Year to everybody watching. I hope y'all had a great 2022. 2023 is about to be lit because Oda said so. And he's saying so right now with this chapter. So obviously, we know it's a lot going on Egghead Island. Lucci and CP0 have turned up with Seraphim. Like, shit is hitting the fan. It's going crazy right now. But right now, we getting more exposition with the history between Bonnie and Vegapunk. And the chapter starts out with kind of like an excerpt of Vegapunk speaking, or kind of the narrator speaking about how she was created. The world may not view her as such, but she is a human. And there's just misdirection because in that same panel that they're saying is we're seeing like a crying Bonnie, like in her childlike state. So you're made to believe, okay, we're getting some more exposition about Bonnie and maybe Vegapunk made her this way, or Kuma made her this way, or something like that. We found out a little bit more about Bonnie's powers, which blew me away because she turned out to be OP. So she isn't just aging or de-aging things. She's also choosing the state of the future or the state of the past in which she ages or de-ages herself and things. So in this chapter, or in this second panel, we see that she essentially goes from a weeping child in whatever sad life she has to like a distorted future self where she's like buff as shit and can like swing big ass hammers and shit. Like, it's crazy, you know what I mean? So I'm like, okay, so depth to her powers. I love that. Thank you, Oda, for giving us something like that. Going back and forth between Vegapunk and Bonnie and Kuma climbing the fucking red line for some fucking reason. We get more backstory into Kuma and his relationship with Vegapunk. Obviously, Bonnie's trying to kill Vegapunk because she thinks Vegapunk killed Kuma, but it's a little bit more to that. He chose willingly to come there, but he also made sure that Vegapunk did not tell Bonnie anything about, you know, what they got going on. So essentially it's kind of like a game of tag. But we did learn that before he, I guess, went full cyborg, he pulled his memories out of his head. So essentially all of the the invisible or non-tangible things that are a part of a human being, like pain and all of that we saw in Thriller Bark, he can remove. So that includes memories, that includes thoughts, like things like that. He can do that. So that's interesting. But he ended up doing that, and Bonnie stumbles upon a room that Vegapunk tries to say is not a room that has anything to do with Kuma, but it clearly has a big ass paw print on it. Like, funny as hell, Vegapunk. Like, Vegapunk is hilarious. I love it. I love him, G. I love his character so far. Goes in there and sees this big ass bubble, and Bonnie immediately recognizes it because she says she knows her father's power, that it's his memories. I'm guessing we're leading into some more backstory with Kuma, which I'm all for, because Kuma was one of the rawest, if not the one of the rawest warlords. He has one of the most OP abilities. So I want to know what's going on with Kuma. Like, what is he? How is he a part of this? What role does he play in all of this? From there, we move on to the juiciest part of the chapter, which is Zoro, of course. No, I'm just playing. But Zoro and Brook basically facing up against the Seraphim, Kaku, and the rest of the CP0, including Rob Lucci. Kaku is also awakened. Surprise, surprise, not really, but he has an awakened form. And these awakened forms, they kind of not doing it for me. I ain't gonna lie to you. These awakened Zoans, they ain't really doing it for me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if it's because it's Lucci and Kaku, and I'm at a point now where I feel like they shouldn't even be factors to the Straw Hats. As we see Zoro dispatch this nigga fairly quickly, you know what I mean? But I don't know, they just not doing it for me. So, you know, Zoro was really dodging, blocking, and smacking around Kaku as he should at the Yonko level the nigga is. But in the midst of that, The Seraphim actually attacked the lab, so we don't know how much of the lab is destroyed, but it's right before the chapter ends. Kaku is attacked by Stussy, bitten, and literally put to sleep by Stussy with some fucking bat wings, like some vampire bat wings, and she's clearly dripping blood from her mouth. But Lucci asks, like, yo, what you doing? And we get a reveal at the end of the chapter that the Stussy we got introduced to there is actually a clone of the real Stussy, Buckingham Stussy, who was a member of the Rocks Pirates. What? Who the fuck had that on their bingo card? Who had that on their bingo card? Please tell me, because it was nowhere near my bingo card. Like, are you kidding me? Like, this shit opens up so many doors, and I've been seeing so many theories about it, or mainly I've only been seeing that people believe the real Stussy is actually Weevil's mom, or the lady who's been traveling with Weevil. It makes sense. It does. I'm not gonna say it don't make sense. It does make sense, but I would love for her to actually be dead. I would love for the story to be more so that she was captured or she defected from the Rocks Pirates before the fall and kind of got involved with Vegapunk or the Mads people and was cloned after the fall. Like, the clone was made after the fall. If that could be the case, I would love that like hellas. But who in the fuck thought that Mads and Vegapunk would have a sleeper agent in the world government? Not only the fucking world government, CP0. Like, and I've seen people, you know, asking, well, how doesn't people know about Stussy? Like, why don't people know that Stussy is a Rocks pirate member? But how many people actually know the Rocks pirates? Like, how many Marines actually know the Rocks? You probably count on one hand how many Marines actually know the Rocks pirates. And you probably have less of how many Marines actually know every member of CP0. Like, their whole shtick is that they're covert. Like, they're supposed to be infiltrating things and doing, like, when we're introduced to Cypher Pole, that is their thing. Like, they infiltrate things and disguise themselves as different people, or they play roles of people that we may or may not know or may not care about. But I think it makes more sense that the world thinks that Stussy is dead. Therefore, this clone shit can work in Cypher Pole, because you don't know every Cypher Pole member outside of Lucci, who is a special case, and who's also a special case, because they're two prodigal members who are making waves in Cypher Pole. You don't know Cypher Pole members. Fucking a Cypher Pole member snuck up on Morgan's ass, and he didn't know he was a Cypher Pole member until he said that. Like, until he basically made it known that he was Cypher Pole. This motherfucker was a part of his organization the whole time. So that's their whole shtick. But I love that reveal. And I really need to see where this is going. If it's leading into more rock shit, which it obviously has to be leading into more rock shit, it's great. Like, Vegapunk, the introduction of Vegapunk has brought about so much lore, like so many answers to so many fucking questions just off this little short, big apple-headed ass nigga, G. I love it, bro. Oda is going crazy, man. I absolutely love this chapter, first chapter of the year, man. It was great. Off to a great fucking start. Kuma backstory, Zoro shitting on Kaku, weak mid, awakened ass, and Stussy being a Rocks member, a clone of a Rocks member. Man, this is exciting. This is very exciting. Like, comment, subscribe, man. Let me know what you thought of my review down in the comments below. Let me know what you thought of the chapter down in the comments below. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at SenseiLayGlove. I will be at C2E2 at the end of March. So if you're in Chicago, definitely pull up. I am still working on Gloves Off. Gloves Off will be a JoJo themed episode. So if you are a fan of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, make sure you pull up. We will be reviewing the entirety of the 6 parts that have, I guess, finished at this point. I'll call it the Jonathan saga. I don't know. Or the Dio saga. I don't know. But yes, Gloves Off is returning. So other than that, man, your boy out.